All right, hello, good morning. Man, what a battle today. Look at this market. Nuts. Another crazy day. This in this crazy world we live in right now. Yeah, so gonna go over what I did today. I had to battle, man. I back and forth there. Started off the day pretty easy. I got up pretty early. Got long somewhere in here. I got up late, but saw that spike and then got long in anticipation of a retest of that high. There you go. Which worked out pretty well. And I got up around somewhere around right around this, like $200 per account on the day at that point. And then I took some heat. I think got long again in here. Had to like stop out. Got long again. Got it all back, and then just dumb impulsive trade. Got long again here, which is where that was the high. I was thinking I was going for the high again. Yeah, as you can see, it never hit that. And then we turned around, started fading. All this obviously is, headline driven stuff, macro stuff. But yeah, I mean, I thought after seeing that gap up, even though we were up so much, that was definitely like on most days, or in the past, excuse me, not anymore. In the past, I definitely would have, being up that much, I would have certainly been inclined to try to short. But I don't do that anymore. And that's not a good thing to do. You don't want to fade major trends like that, especially when they're on macro news. So I wasn't expecting to see this sort of, break lower, but once we did start breaking lower, broke VWAP. Once we broke VWAP, that's where I was like, okay, I guess I got to get short. I think I got chopped around trying to decide which way to go, somewhere in that range, which that definitely was frustrating. And I think I was at that point, I'd lost all my profits and I think I was down on the day, but then got short and made some back, got chopped around. Man, I got just looking at this, crazy to see how many trades I took in there. Yeah, I think I was kind of up and down a few times in there. So it was a day where I definitely you had to be able to switch gears multiple times, and I was able to do that luckily. But I was long through here, basically all in here. I was going long. Then once we started turning around here, that's when I started going short. I was short thinking all the way. I was thinking like test of overnight low at least. The gap seemed absurd. For NQ, I was looking for a test of the RTH high from April 16th, which was 18,735-ish. As you can see, we bounced right above that, 18,747. So that was a significant level. I just didn't think there was any way we were gonna fill the gap lower. That would have been crazy. I mean, because the news is still generally bullish, but I guess we dropped on the qualifying information that essentially, there's no unilateral. Let's see, what's the language they use? U.S.-China tariffs will likely have to come down for trade negotiations. The U.S. and China are waiting to speak to each other. Both sides see current tariff situation is unsustainable. Yeah, he mentioned at some point saying that it would take a couple of years possibly to figure out the trade stuff with China. So the headline, that was the big headline that kind of took us lower. It was versus the unilateral cuts idea that Trump was going to just start cutting some of the tariffs on China. So it turns out, yeah, they're not. It's all based on negotiations. So yeah, I was long, I was short, and then when we popped here, I started to get long again. After this stochastics move, bounce off of that level, bounce right above overnight lows, bounce right above that level that I just mentioned, just above 18,735-ish, which was that April 16th RTH high. Kind of had a feeling that we could find a bounce there. I got long off of that candle right there on both of those, and just kind of scalped around off of that heading towards like this 21 EMA and VWAP. Didn't quite get the VWAP on ES. The other number to mention was it was a key one for me with getting short, was that 54.35 is like the 21 period moving average on the daily. I think it's around 18,850 on NQ. You can see we did bounce off of that, even though it was just temporary. I saw that, we opened up above that. We were so much higher. That was just below. If you're targeting, a lower target, that was kind of an obvious one to go for. So yeah, a lot of flip-flopping today. It all worked out in the end. I got approved the other day for, it was yesterday or the day before, for 3,400 on a couple of these accounts. It's nice to get them. They're back up again. And then these 6 are 1 day away from one more day of like $50 per account. And then I can flip for 3 days and request, I don't know, somewhere around 12,000. That'll be a nice one. What else? Yeah, so now that we're, after that huge gap up, now that we have a gap, below. Let me pull up the S&P. Yeah, so S&P, now we have a gap lower right here, 53.15. Let's see, what's the RTH there? 53.40 is RTH high, right around there for yesterday. That's a key spot. Here's the big target, the bullish target right here, the 55. It's like 55.80 or something like that. Let me see. $55. Oh, the RTH. Okay. So the RTH low on that day, it's April 2nd, 56.10. That was right before we made the huge plunge lower. 56.10 was that low, so that'll be a target. 55.85 is the Globex low. That was so I guess that was, yeah. Okay, so that was the day that the tariff announcement, I believe. Now that I'm looking at it, because we gap lower so much that evening. those are key bullish levels that a lot of people are going to have eyes on for sure. Right in here, 55.86 to 56.07 or so, 56.10. But yeah, so now yesterday, you know, I thought that this candle was a huge reversal of like how bearish we looked, and then we got this huge gap. I kind of was thinking, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned in there that I figured we'd probably bounce around between 5,200 and 5,400, wedge up before you know, we went anywhere, unless we had a actual news catalyst, which, you know, we kind of got today, and then we got kind of the opposite. So yeah, it seems like probably that idea is still intact and likely to pan out unless we get some more bullish headlines of more easing of tariffs. And then, you know, that's obviously this 5,600 area is a prime target. But I could definitely see us, assuming we don't get anything in the next couple of days, I could definitely see this gap getting filled up, at which point it could be a bullish move from there. I don't know. That's massive speculation. But yeah, I don't think I have much else to say. Let's see. Yeah, it was a wild day though. Those are some big moves. You know, we bounced. Okay, so now we're coming down off of that level, that 21 period, also kind of VWAP-ish. So from here, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a lot of chop. I could see us bouncing here. Those look kind of bullish candles, but you know, that's not enough. Stochastic still turned down. Still got the gap lower. Who knows where we go from here. I'm happy at this point, having been up and then gave it back, and then I had to work for the rest of the day. I'm definitely happy to just be done where I'm at here. No need for me to press or do anything crazy. So, yeah. So we'll see what happens the rest of the day, and we'll be back tomorrow morning. All right. Bye-bye.